Hi, friends. This reflection is for Corpus Christi. It's funny that I was just looking at the liturgical calendar and I also realized that there was something that I kind of thought that God had a sense of humor that I would be recording this video in the midst of the National Eucharistic Revival. And if anyone participating in that, watching this video, you have a shout out today. So here it is. But in all seriousness, I think if we look at it, there is a reason why we do have this revival, which some of which we didn't have in the first place, but it needs to be done. And first of all, we have to acknowledge the fact that as a survey went out by Pew Research, 7 out of 10 Catholics don't believe in the true presence of Christ. Sad. I know. But we could take comfort in the fact that we got a lot of work to do, right? What is the Eucharist? Why is it essential? First of all, Eucharist comes from the Greek Eucharista, which means thanksgiving. So in a sense, Thanksgiving was Catholic before the Puritans hijacked it, with the whole Plymouth Rock thing, but I'm not going to give you that history lesson for the courtesy of this video. If you want, I'll give it at a later video. You're welcome to request that, but I'm digressing. Anyway, so what is the Eucharist? That is the question. Well, first off, when we eat the bread and drink the wine during Mass, we enter into the Lord's Passover journey from death to life. You see, on the night before he was to die, he gave something to the church. He instituted a sacrament that was to be shared with others. The sacrament of the Holy Eucharist. Pope Francis reminds us that the Eucharist communicates the Lord's love for us, a love so great that it nourishes us with himself, a freely given love, always available to every person who hungers. Now, there will be times you may be not worthy, like the centurion about Jesus healing his daughter. Yet, Christ is there. He is present in the tabernacle. He is present everywhere. And, to paraphrase the soon-to-be first millennial saint, Carlo Acutis, the Eucharist is the highway to heaven. We're even encouraged by many saints to receive it as often as we can. To me, the Eucharist, friends, think of it as your daily vitamin or multivitamin supplement that you take. Without it, you're nothing. Without the Eucharist, you are nothing. Every time we receive Christ, and when we go at the priest or deacon's words to go in peace, we are asked to share that monstrance that's in our bodies now with others. And what a time. We have people that have fallen away from the church, that think that, I'm better off going to receive Jesus and not confessing my sins. That's not how it works. Now, there are some rules to the game here, folks. First off, if you're in a state of mortal sin, you shouldn't be receiving communion at all. Never forget that. Second, Jesus gave his body as a sacrifice. And we are asked to do this in remembrance of him. He calls us to share him with others. We are called to share his message to others. He showed us what sacrificial love was all about. He loved us, and he gave us his body. To be nourished. That is the most beautiful gift we can ever receive from Christ before he parted from this earth. I mentioned a moment ago that the Catholic Church is going to be soon canonizing the first millennial as a saint, and he's been gaining some popularity recently. And if you ever visit his tomb, you may notice something that's very distinct. He was wearing jeans, right? Now, anyone can attain holiness, by the way. But for him, it was the Eucharist. In fact, he even documented by creating a website from scratch about the different Eucharistic miracles that happened since the early church, probably up until he died. And he was only 16 years old. But he told his friends, he told his mother, who, in the words of my shepherd, she's a walking relic because she carried someone that was destined to be a saint in the Catholic Church. And he walked in the path of Christ. He saw the Eucharist as a way for us to get to heaven. For us, friends, and to quote him, every time you are in front of the sun, you get tan. But every time you're in front of the monstrance, we become saints. Even a teenager knew that our biggest role in life is to be in front of a monstrance, to pray, adore Christ in the most blessed sacrament of the church. So in that sacrament, most holy friends, are we ready to share that with others? Are we ready to do things in memory of Christ? Let us strive to get to heaven as we receive Christ more. And in turn, carry a monstrance everywhere we go in our hearts. Do it in memory of him. God bless.